Alright, welcome back to this best of 3. Representing these two clans, we got mYinsanity versus Acer. This is, of course, the Euro series for ESL, and let's not forget, this is still the Winter Edition from 2013, coming to an end here at the start of 2014. This is the playoff section. There's up to 5 best of 3s that'll be happening today. We're only in the first one, so without further ado, spawning in the Northern Quadrant. Not left, not right, because Polar Knight sucks. It is the Blue Zerg player, Acer Scarlett. Now, of course, it only really sucks from a caster perspective, because if you've ever tried casting a game on this map, you know you've tried to say in the top left or top right at least one time. But her opponent in the lower quadrant of the map, down to the south at 6 o'clock, it is the pink Zerg player from mYinsanity, DaNa. So I'm not going to bother trying to make excuses for this. DaNa's a good player. He knows where his faults are. He's gone up against some really good cranes in the past. We even had him take on Beyond in a show match towards the beginning half of Heart of the Swarm. For those of you that did see it, you will recall that DaNa actually did go toe-to-toe. And while he did lose the series 4-1 ultimately in the end, it was a really close game every single time. It's not like Beyond walked over him. So, I mean, this is a kid who's competed against the best. ZVZ is hard enough to deal with as is. It's a very delicate matchup in the first place, combined with the fact that you're coming up against Scarlett. You know, he's got his work laid out for him. But I entirely believe that he could at least take a game off of Scarlett under the perfect circumstances. Now, whether the perfect circumstances are happening today or not, I don't know. We'll find out. Just to answer a quick question in chat, because I've seen multiple people ask this today, not just recent time. The microphone on my headset is not the one I use for casting. That's just one I use for casually hanging out or talking on Skype. My professional grade casting microphone is an MXL 990 condenser microphone, and I do like it a lot. It makes me feel like all professional, like I'm on radio. I don't know what it is, guys. Something about having the microphone in front of you just really actually makes you more excited to talk into it than if you were just talking to a headset, if that even makes sense. Anyways, Scarlett, you know, pretty standard play last game. Reacted to seeing the aggression coming. The 3 evolution chambers was a great hold. You will note she didn't do anything crazy. I mean, that was just her playing Zerg, maybe not like perfectly, but close to it. DaNa choosing to be really aggressive didn't pay off for him. We'll see if he decides to go for that same level of aggression here in game number 2. It's really hard to call that, though. I mean, you might come into a game thinking like, all right, I'm gonna go for 10 pull bans. I'm gonna go for, like, you know, 2 base baneling buffs, or maybe I'll just go for roaches or 3 base mutalisks. I mean, really, you come into a game with a preset thing, but if all it takes is one small deviation, your opponent maybe comes in with a 6 pull, or maybe not 6 pull. That's a bad example, but maybe Scarlett decides to poke DaNa a little bit more than he expected. Maybe she comes to speedlings. Suddenly, DaNa's plans are all thrown for a loop, and he's got to make sure he reacts accordingly. And I bring this up because that's what Scarlett did last game. And just, you know, because it's EVZ, you don't have to be the aggressor. You don't have to be the one trying to put on pressure to your opponent. I mean, sometimes it's nice to, and oftentimes you do see the aggressive player end up being the winner. There's not a lot of counterattack situations that win, although they do happen. DaNa is going to push out with a couple of lings here, a little bit more than you would normally see. 2 usually come in for a bit of a poke, but 4 kind of guarantees you kill the lings that you meet in the middle of the map, and maybe even pick off a drone or 2. Scarlett's just going to get that spine collar down. Oh, nope, never mind. Going to be a baneling nest real quick. A lot of players will opt to go for the spine collar in lieu of that extra clean, but instead goes for the baneling nest real fast. This will be great for defense, but also aggression if at all necessary. Drone does get picked off there. Not too shabby, and DaNa tries to go out of the base. Keeping 2 lings alive actually means he can go back in for a scout later on. So I do like that he maintained these, but there's 8 more behind this, and you know what? This is a little bit earlier than you would expect. In fact, this is much earlier than you would expect. It's usually, again, that 6-minute larva pop that's the crazy amount of aggression, but dialing it on a little bit early. Some banelings being morphed in from those 2 lings that did survive earlier. Scarlett, of course, has no but with a spine collar coming down and the baneling nest for a bit of surface area to hug. I think she should be okay. Second queen's been brought down for the main. It's going to cost her maybe an inject, if that. Not a big deal. It's really important that DaNa hid those banelings, by the way. If he had shown this too early, Scarlett would have certainly walled this off, but oh, should be able to get good detonation on the lings that just popped out. Another decent detonation goes down on the drones, and he's going to try and capitalize on this with his Zerglings. Trying to pick off the low health drones in a bit of a run-by fashion. We'll get 1, we'll get 2, we'll get 3 of them, and cleaned up entirely. Resources lost. Okay, it looks ever so slightly better for DaNa, but I mean, realistically, you got to keep in mind, well, actually, hold the phone. He's actually got a drone lead right now. How many workers did die there? 7 in total. So a couple more than I expected. I was going to say this should be somewhat evened out. DaNa didn't exactly cut a severe amount of workers to make this happen, but he did go for links earlier than you would have. So with his own spine collar and a couple banelings down, the counterattack for Scarlett is going to be something he certainly has to worry about. And this is a lot of banelings coming in. Oh, almost gets a good hit. Can't quite get to. Baneling to connect, but with some good focus fire on the Spine Crawler, pushes Scarlett back. Oh, but DaNa running in full force to those Banelings takes a very nasty hit and should be able to get these Banelings both for what is almost free. Killing off the further attack power here of Scarlett, but Scarlett says, you know what, DaNa? Fine, have those Banelings. I'm on my way to a lair. I've got 4 gases. Mutalisks will be coming out very quickly, and I know that you will not be able to keep up with this. And that's kind of going to be the situation here for our mYinsanity player. Now, just because you're not the first person to go to Mutalisks, guys, doesn't mean you lose the game. Hell, Mutalisks sometimes don't even win you a game. And precisely what I was about to refer is what DaNa's doing. Roaches are coming out. Now, here's the timing with Zerg, right? Like, if you get Mutalisks out, fantastic. You shoot the Roaches, you shoot the Banelings, you shoot the Zerglings with no repercussion because they can't shoot up. The problem is the Spire takes a very long time to hatch, or morph, or build. I don't know what you want to call it. It's Zerg, but it takes a long time to come into the game. And on top of that, it's going to take even longer to get those Mutalisks out. So if DaNa hits at a timing real quick here, Scarlett may be caught off guard. But with 16 Lings on the way, probably not exactly going to be surprised. And lots of Lings versus low amounts of Roaches, the Lings actually do win those fights. DaNa's going to have to make sure his back is against the wall, and he's got his own Zergling support if he really wants to get on in there. And that's kind of the thing. Like, for this to work, he has to get in there now. Spine Crawlers are on the way, but they're not done yet. Hell of a lot of Banelings are morphing in. And this is a scenario where this many Banelings, you think, hey, Banelings are garbage against Roaches, but this will actually be great because Roaches clump up a lot. Going to try and focus fire down this first Spine Crawler. A couple Banelings are going to make their way forward. DaNa doesn't have no upgrades going for him. A bit of a split on the Roaches, and as we see Scarlett just trying to walk him into the heart of this army. Banelings colliding for both players. Tons of damage going out, but I think DaNa will be stopped dead in his tracks. He does not have enough Roaches to bust past these further 4 Spine Crawlers. Mutalisks are not going to be out right away for Scarlett. She just had to spend a hell of a lot of gas. But the Zerglings run right past the Spine Crawlers. So do the Roaches. They get to the main. How much damage can they do is going to be the big question. Both players have about 22 Lings going to hatch here in a moment's time. DaNa will clear a lot of these drones out, but is that going to be enough? Scarlett's defenses are pretty strong with 4 Spine Crawlers. A follow-up attack is not nearly going to be as likely. Does get the workers, though. 22 drones killed so far. A good start to this game, but 5 Mutalisks are coming out, and the problem is, if you start making Banelings right now, they're going to be picked off for freaking free. So DaNa going to try and run, I don't know what he's trying to do with these Banelings. They're Zerglings, but they are going to be kind of futile. Back at home, oh god, did he not scout the Spire? He saw the Spire, okay. So perhaps not even inclined to try and go for the super defensive turtle move. Of course, it's the best of 3, and he's on his last life. I would not expect DaNa to give up this easily, but I do want to see some Spore Crawlers coming down. If he waits too long, the Mutalisks will already be on top of the base. There we go. Spore Crawlers are coming out. Whew, crisis averted. So the problem is, right, like, Mutalisks have pretty decent damage, and if you start building a Spore Crawler underneath the Mutalisks, like, that's never going to get to complete, ever. And we'll see what happens. Scarlett is, of course, coming in with some Mutalisks, cleaning up the Overlords for now. Going for, whoa, attacks? I guess really expecting her opponent not to have her own Mutalisks, and that's perfectly fine because she saw the Roach dedication from earlier. I actually take that back. That's not even a question mark. That makes a lot of sense. You really only go Carapace if you're fighting Mutawars. The extra damage is fantastic, especially when it comes to ducking in and focus firing a unit, trying to snipe it off before you get picked off yourself. A couple Banelings and Zerglings will rush to the defense of the natural, and the Mutalisks are trying to find a hole to get in, but with 4 Queens and a couple Spore Crawlers down, should really not be able to do anything with this low of a Mutalisk count. Now do keep in mind, guys, Scarlett is not on 3 bases just yet. The drone's kind of chilling, waiting to put that hatchery down. DaNa has a massive bank, and of course he would love to move out and take a 3rd base of his own, but he knows it's not going to be secure. There's too many Zerglings out on the map and too many Mutalisks for him to maneuver around, so has to go for Hydralisks. I like this choice a lot better than Infestors. You will see players go for Infestors in this matchup, in this sort of scenario too, where you're behind Mutalisks, but the fungal growth is the most difficult, frustrating thing in the world to land, and even when it does land, Mutalisks, it takes like 5 or more fungals to kill Mutalisks in the first place, but on top of that, more so, you gotta catch them all in one fungal, which is even less likely to happen. But looks like trying to focus down the extractor here. Love that DaNa's actually putting transfuses into this. Needs to keep his gas count as high as he can. Snipes off one of the Mutalisks even, and with 5 Queens holds this extractor. Now this might seem like a very minor victory, and it realistically is, but again, losing the extractor, losing another drone to build on top of it, on top of the ones that are picked off that were mining gas earlier, I like that he held on to this. Not the biggest deal in the world, but a pretty good one as far as continuing production here. Scarlett is slowly but surely transferring into her own Roaches. This is what you do see often. No player really wins games purely on Mutalisks anymore. Well, I take that back, they can, but at a high level of play like this, typically it doesn't happen. Guess towards the main, none of the queens are here because they're, of course, all busy defending the natural. This is the huge advantage of Mutalisks, their maneuverability. You just can't keep up with that. Not with queens, at least, not even on creep. But whoa, hold the phone. Guys, DaNa is going to make this game 20% cooler. He is throwing down a Nidus Network. Now, Nidus Network is actually, you might think, wow, this is a really stupid investment. Why would you do this? I like this a lot. It's going to come down over here. The Zerglings have gone unscouted, and the worst thing you can do is walk across the map slowly and find out that your units are unguarded, they get sniped off, suddenly you've got no more Hydralisks. But by safely carrying them across the map with a Nidus Worm, bam, suddenly your entire army's at your opponent's base. But more so than that, it eliminates the defender's advantage. You can funnel units out at the same rate that Scarlett will be able to funnel units out for defense. Now, it is a tad bit scary here. Scarlett does have upgrades for her ranged on the way. She should actually have tech advantage. 24 Roaches also in her favor. Pure Hydralisks never win against pure Roaches, but with Queens and Lings for support, might just be able to pull it off. Now we're going to hear that awesome sound. Yeah, you like that impression? Okay, Nidus Worm is going to be unloading in full, and Scarlett right now, not in panic mode, but has to locate where the Nidus Worm is. Now, I think she knows after seeing this little blip over here. Actually, oh, what a scumbag Zergling! What a scumbag Zergling! She right here the entire time. Anyways, DaNa is, of course, going to have a lot of queens on the front lines, too. This is another big advantage when it comes to this fight, but the Roach numbers are looking really scary. There's no buffer for these Hydralisks. I don't think this is going to work for DaNa. A really cool effort, but the damage might not be here. Bailey's going to collide into the Hydralisk. Of course, that's extra damage versus light. Now it's just a lot of queens spamming Transfuse against Roaches. Not going to happen. Good game is going to be called, and Scarlett will take the series 2-0. Giving Acer the advantage now, 1-0 in the actual team score. Oh, small shout out to Caitlin. I see her joining us in chat. Raise your ace, Kates, guys.